which was my whole goal really. About 2 weeks before I left that job, I managed to get domain admin finally as
Nice.
a standard user. Now,
Yeah.
obviously,
So we're gonna be talking to my friend Alasdair. He's from the UK, and he's one of the three security researchers who found the RCE in Notepad of all things. We don't actually discuss the Notepad RCE in this video, so I don't want to clickbait you on that. But yeah, he found a CVE in Notepad, and he also found a CVE in some NASA applications and stuff. He's a cool guy. He doesn't have any certifications and like formal education in cybersecurity, but he has a lot of practical experience in bug bounty hunting and CVE, and so common vulnerabilities and exposures. Uh, and so I think that's like really valuable, and it's just a chill conversation about what he, like how he got into security. I hope you enjoy. CVEs and bug bounty.
yeah. Well, I'll give a little context then because you know I've done a lot of IT
Yeah.
related work prior to this. So I worked at a school for about 5 years just doing help desk,
Mm.
and then before that, when I was younger, I did a lot of like kind of um, hacking, which before I knew there was a legal way to do it, I kind of messed around with my friends,
Yeah.
and then we sort of took over, like got domain admin at school and stuff like this. But then it got, like not infant junior school, whatever that is in the US. But
Yeah.
then I thought, oh well, this I don't want to do this with my life.
Yeah.
I have more and stuff. So I kind of moved more into a music career.
Oh yeah, it was
Eventually,
music.
that's yeah. So I ran a recording studio for like 6 years, and then pivoted back into IT, working at the charity
Mm.
that I'm working at right now. And then when I was there, I somehow on the side found out about all this cybersecurity,
Mm.
offensive cybersecurity. That was a real job,
Yeah.
and that was legal. I was like, oh, this is cool, and it kind of rewoken that little spark of when I was younger, like excitement for like hacking stuff. And then
Yeah.
I found Tyler channel very quickly after that, and that's where it kind of all started because I was just watching his videos and then jumping on like at the box and try hack me and just getting up to
Yeah.
speed as quickly as possible. And then about 6 months after that, I started the CTS pathway.
Okay.
Um, and then while I was doing that, I got to the web module bit, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, this is sick." I was like, "This is just that was really exciting to me." And then I thought, "Ah, I'd love to do more web stuff." And then I found out about Bounty, and then I just
Yeah.
no one told me that like
That's
the way
yeah.
I just thought, let's just try it out, and it's just kind of gone from there. So it's been really Tyler's stuff's been brilliant actually. That's what got me into it in the first place.
This is like a really interesting career path because like you did like music, like studio stuff and like DJing, I assume, and things like that, and then transitioning into, well, I mean, like you were already in like IT a little bit, and you have like that
Yeah, I
past,
feel like
so
here on the
that's
side.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
That's always really good because like I'm gonna be honest, like I feel like it isn't like an entry level thing to like go straight into like security and stuff. I think you can. I think a lot of people get like stuck up on doing like all the certifications like the security plus and the network plus when you could just go straight into pen testing. Like you could. Honestly, like CPTS, when I think about it, the difficulty of the path and like doing the education there, it is like the halfway point between like university and like high school almost. Like that's like my experience is like when I was in university it was a little like maybe it's just like how I like looked at it, but when I was in university like it was a little bit difficult for me. And like CPTS was like definitely like a middle ground where like I found my like footing, if that makes sense. So
like it throws you
yeah.
at the deep end at CPTS.
Was that?
Like it throws you in at the deep end, and
Yeah.
it gives you a little structure to sort of what you might have picked up little bits here and there. It kind of says, well, this is how you're
Hmm.
actually going to use it in the real world.
Yeah.
And I think and it doesn't sort of hold your hand too much. I think that's why I like it a lot. Um,
It really
and
makes you
you're a C.
think. It makes you think, it makes you critically think, and then you have to like the chains are what's really important. Is like it's interesting because it's not like anything you've done before because you're actually having to like think outside the box kind of thing is kind of funny for
Yes.
me.
Yeah. And I love the way that it kind of now obviously I haven't taken the exam, but even
Mm.
in the coursework part, it will build on the things that you've done already. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm big shout out definitely CPTS, I think, and stuff, of course.
So when you were doing music and stuff,
Mm.
what was that like? Does that translate at all over into like what you're doing now? Do you feel like any of the skills like obviously there's like if you're running a studio and things like there's management, like
Hmm.
certain little things like that. And like people don't realize like with pen testing and bug bounty reports and that kind of stuff, it takes a lot
Mm.
of like persistence and grit and then like
Mm.
communication skills. You have to be really good at talking with people and then like also like your technical writing skills, they have to be on point and you need to like be considerate of what the developer might be feeling or whoever you're like working with to triage and stuff. So it's kind of interesting. Like
Yeah,
is there overlap there for you?
I think probably the problem solving, but less problem solving, more like creative thinking for looking for CVs,
Mm-hmm.
because it's especially when you move on to stuff that's been hammered and tested loads by internal security teams, and then other researchers who have got a lot more experience than yourself,
Yeah.
than myself. Like you got to start thinking a little outside the box, perhaps, and maybe seeing and thinking what might the developer have assumed that
Mm.
other people that might that even if you asked AI, they'd be like, no, that's obviously hardened. Windows does
Yeah.
that. But they think, well, actually, but are you sure? Like, has anyone really definitely 100% tested that? And then maybe we can start chaining things. So in terms of the overlap from music and producing,
Yeah.
probably just creative thinking is probably the main one. Obviously, communication skills are important, but
That's actually a good
um,
point. I forgot. It is a really creative. Yeah, you have to be really creative in this field as well as in music, right? So,
yeah, I
yeah,
think so.
yeah,
I think people should give themselves more credit when they find things that
yeah.
they're this is something that you had to kind of theorize before you
Hmm.
actually knew it would work. And yes, of course, just like music, you're building on things that people have done before.
Yeah.
So you bring out something and people say, "Oh, it sounds a bit like that," or "It sounds a bit like that." That's inevitable, but you're adding your own flavor to it and coming up with your own version of it. And that's what people do when they find vulnerabilities. Is they're sort of chaining things that are known about. These aren't like new vulnerabilities, but you're finding ways to add
Mm.
your own flavor and it has to be creative enough that it hasn't been found already.
Yeah.
So that's what's fun about it. It's the excitement of that
Yeah,
that
it's
is why I'm
it's
doing it.
interesting because like for me, I just submitted my first like CVE report. So like literally just a few hours ago.
That's good.
Yeah. And so I'm like completely new to it, but yeah, like this is quite the experience for me because I'm like just getting into it. I'm really like I was really happy. Like I asked one of my buddies like how the hell do I do this? Because like I did the CPTS report, right? But that was all structured. This it was more like I needed to create my own POC. I needed to showcase everything myself. I needed to like actually come up with my own remediation for this problem. I'm like, what am I doing?
Mm.
And like I knew what needed to be done just because it's like it was an SSTI, right? So um, it had actually like I can't go into too much detail, but yeah, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's kind
Don't,
of yeah.
stop dropping the program live.
But yeah, it's interesting. And then I found another CVE beforehand, but I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't disclose it yet because I don't know how to explain the vulnerability. It's kind of weird because it
Mm.
is like a CI/CD pipeline whatever thing where it's like if you do like a pull request, you get code execution, and like it's weird because it's like you don't know exactly like what level of vulnerability, like what it would be on the CVSS score, because you'd have to be a developer. Like, how would you get the pull request to work, and then like all this stuff? I'm like, it's such a pain in the like it could be a 7, it could be a 3, I don't know.
Yeah.
And these types of things, I'm like, you kind of have to like wing it a little bit. So it's definitely
Yeah.
interesting.
And like CV pro um, like software which doesn't
Mm,
necessarily have a particularly easy way of submitting. Like
yeah.
we all know the issues with writer and things, but and how much limited time they have, and the difference between like a bug bounty program
Yeah.
and hunting in open source, both of which are great to do, is that with the bug bounty programs want you to show like a POC of like the whole chain, usually. And you can have like half the chain and you can know that it will work because you've got X. But if you can't show Y as well, a lot of the time they don't have time to validate that, or they get enough of these reports that say this definitely leads to RCE, and they're going, okay, we'll prove it, and then you go, oh, come on, well, you'd have to know this, and so that's the difference between. Whereas with sometimes with CV hunting, you can just find the entry point.
Yeah.
There's and that will be enough, which is cool, because I think that builds your confidence to think, actually I can find real world vulnerabilities, and the developers will care enough most of the time. But it just depends on who's on the other side triaging the ticket and things, and I think of all of these things, and I've sort of said this before, whether or not you get the CV assigned, or whether or not you get a payout from it, or because some developers you never hear back from them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't submit it, but it definitely feels different when you hear back from the team going, "Thanks for looking for us. Thanks, you patch that," and you think, "Oh, sick." But regardless, the win is the fact that you found something in a real vulnerability in real world software in the first place, and I think that should be the takeaway. When we start hunting for things, it's not about what kind of approval we might get from over here, or kind of financial outcome. It's always been about, how do I learn and grow, and how do I sort of prove to myself that I can actually do this in the real world. I could then take on a role and do a pen test and find real things, and that should be our motivation, perhaps.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, because like this experience, and I just experienced it, is like it's motivated me to like actually like start reporting some of the vulnerabilities that I'm finding. Like I saw a couple of like duplicates that I have. The very first time that I started CVE hunting, I found some SQL injection, right? And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. It was in a lesser known application, but it had already been there was already a CVE number assigned to it, right? And so it was a duplicate. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I'd stopped doing it completely. I was demotivated, right? Because I was like, oh, I got a duplicate. I don't know. Like I'll go back to studying. I'll go back to like doing something else. And then like the group we have, everybody's just hard hitters. They're all getting CVEs, everybody's getting stuff, and I'm getting jealous over here because I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not getting these CVE numbers and stuff. I want to get a bug bounty, And so I finally like bit the bullet, and I actually I'm quite happy with it. So what's interesting is like I kind of want to transition into like what was your first CV? Like how did you stumble across something? Because for me it was like I just went for it and I found something and I was like, wait, why is this here? It shouldn't
brilliant.
be.
I can tell you the context of it, but there's a box releasing on HackSmart at
Oh yes.
most
Yes.
likely through triage. Quality assurance is what I mean, not triage. Bug bounty mine, and but it sort of directly builds on a couple of my first few CVs.
Yeah.
So I won't talk too much about it, but I'll talk about. I was working at the school in IT.
Yeah.
And obviously I was going for the CPTS, and every time I learned something for CPTS, I had
Try to
permission
apply it. Yeah.
From my boss to start looking for security flaws in the systems that we had, and eventually it led to, which was my whole goal really. About 2 weeks before I left that job, I managed to get domain admin finally, as
Nice.
a standard user. Now, obviously,
I remember
I've worked
that
there
day.
internals. Yeah, no, it's a good feeling,
Yeah.
but separate to that, we had a third party vendor
Yeah.
called I think they were called NetSweeper. Yeah, the CV's live and everything. So yeah, if you want hints on the box, that'll be your place. But I don't think there's too much context. There's a bit, but yeah. So it was an admin panel for administering
Yeah.
like filtering and firewall permissions and
Yeah.
stuff like this, and also it allowed different tenant access. Let's say across
Yeah.
joined schools in the trust, and there was some pretty severe vulnerabilities in that allowed for, let's just say, access that you shouldn't have
Yeah.
via methods. But that was just through clicking around and exploring and sending requests, and none of that was like with like Burp Suite. I didn't
Yeah.
have any tools like on
It
the
was just
computer.
straight
Just this
HTML. Yeah.
DOM-based stuff is what I might say, and yeah, it was mad. So yeah, that would be a fun one for people to sort of dig into. But essentially, yeah, Privesc and pivoting. Let's say, yeah.
I know when you were watching me do it, you were laughing the whole time.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it was awesome. No, I enjoyed watching you
yeah.
trying it out. That's really fun. I
Didn't
didn't
realize
expect
when
how
you
fun it
build
would be.
something and then somebody tries it out, you're like, wait a second, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah. God, this is so satisfying. Well, you just like having it's nice just to see how other people's minds work and people
Yeah,
think of this ability, and I would have never thought of that. And they try
yeah.
this, and you're like, oh. So
Interesting.
it's all fun. It's all good.
So that
Yeah,
was your CVs, and then
that was
you
the first.
yeah,
Mm.
then you started doing more bug bounty stuff, and you were talking about some of the tools, getting like lower what is it, like P3s, P4s. I
Mm.
think P3s, right? That those are the ones that pay out, right? I'm not sure.
P4's on Bug Crowd
Oh, okay.
payout.
Yeah.
It's P5, which are like classed as informational.
Okay.
So you might say, oh well, I don't know. There's a lot of things you could say, but
Mm-hmm.
usually information ones toe the line between like a software bug versus like a security vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like something's not doing something right, but it's actually not introduced any sort of exploit here.
Yeah.
Whereas like a P4, so this is bug crowd specifically. HackerOne do it by CVSS rating.
Mm.
And integrity. Yeah, there's a bunch of programs, but yeah. So it was. I started by just, well, you know how it is. You jump on a bug bounty program and you feel like a complete outsider, and you
Yeah.
feel very out of place. And so Bug Crowd's got a lovely thing called a not taxonology, where you can basically see all the different vulnerability types and what their ratings are: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I went all the way down to the bottom, P4, found one called broken link hijacking or broken link injection,
Yeah.
and which is kind of what it says it is. It's broken links which lead to domains which are no longer registered by someone else.
Yeah.
So this could be a typo by a developer, which is most likely, or a domain that's then expired and now it's up for sale on GoDaddy for £3.50,
Mm-hmm.
and a link in a big website. And so so you find those broken links, you buy the domain, you host your kind of malicious looking POC of whatever that might be,
Yeah.
and then you send it off and you say, well, look, I took over this domain,
Yeah.
But it's so obviously impact is kind of it's a phishing based thing, but it's an integrity thing for them. So
Mm-hmm.
they do want to kill it off, and you might get
Yeah.
a few $100 for those. And then basically, I just found some dude's website where he basically allows you to check for broken. It's like called Broken Link Checker, and you're meant to
Yeah.
just paste your own website in there and find links. But amazingly, it bypasses Cloudflare like
Oh.
almost 100% of the time. Yeah, it's a good website. You can find it online. There you go. That's a shout out to this guy. He's going to get loads of
Yeah.
people on. But yeah, so just started firing those at bug bounty programs, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where it started. Yeah,
So
good fun.
if you were to go back, I know that you're
Yeah.
like gonna start position soon and all this stuff. Like if you could go back a little bit, what would be like your path now? Do you regret anything, or like do you have any recommendations for the younger version of yourself? You know, like what would you do
Yeah, I mean,
differently?
I don't know. I mean, I there's a tinge of regret about not knowing about this earlier, about
Yeah.
um, legal hacking.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I think I would have pushed that like harder when I was younger
Yeah.
if I'd known that there was like something to aim for. As soon as I've always felt quite big picture about everything.
Hmm.
So if so you should be led by your values more than what you feel like doing in the
Yeah.
moment, because your feelings can change, and it won't necessarily benefit other people as much as if you have a value for something and you think, how can I use that to benefit other people? But aside from that sort of philanthropist kind of mindset, I would say probably just to have got involved with this sort of stuff earlier, perhaps. But in terms of like the learning path and everything, I'm happy that I jumped in to like trying to do things in the real world.
Yeah.
As soon as I knew a few things, because actually I think that real world stuff always looks different than
the
CTF
boxes and the CTFs and everything.
Yeah, because you can't. It's hard to simulate live Cloudflare blocking on your payloads, for instance. You know, you're just going to get that problem.
And you have to problem solve. Like you're gonna have to like deal with it anyways. Like if you've never done it in the live environment, it's gonna be so much more difficult when you are forced into that. Like actually. So
I think
I don't know.
Yeah, but you've got to know the fundamentals obviously before you jump into those things. So it's a hard question to answer. You know, what would you change? I don't know. I'm happy with where things are now. I was happy with where things were 10 years ago in some senses, but it's better to look forward than back. And as long as you keep learning and know what you're aiming for, that's a good thing.
I respect that. That's a really good answer actually, but I entrapped you a little bit with the question, so you gotta. Well,
no, it's cool.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? I feel like we actually covered a lot, man. Like,
what else do you got to say?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, just gotta just encourage people that are like getting into their journey to not like don't compare yourself to other people. It's really important to not. You can the best thing to do is just like connect with people who know more than you. But not for the sole reason of just like what can I get from you, but it's more like how can I learn from you whilst also not being a douche about it. I'm not really sure how it works, but you should try and connect with people and try and learn from other people, because that's where I've learned most of my stuff from.
I think so too. Like I wouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff if it wasn't for the community and like everybody else around me. Like you always match the level at which like the people around you are, right? Like so like you're always like, even if you're like doing it subconsciously, like you don't have to like compare yourself, but it is something.
Yeah, and I think that's why the Hack Smarter community is so good, because we do now have an environment where people feel comfortable to ask questions that could be considered, that other communities might consider like, you know, what a dumb question. You know, you've seen other communities and other discords and stuff, and it's like, and I think we're very clear in Hack Smarter that there is no dumb questions and everyone's on their own journey, but we're trying to do it together. So let's just try and encourage and help other people, and you know, we're not gatekeeping stuff. Like there are so many people coming out with like paywall bug bounty programs. This is how you make it. And obviously the vision is always how do you make lots of money. I've made loads of money. Come and join me on my journey. You know, so, and you know, that's great. But I think at Hack Smarter we got the same caliber of knowledge, but the vision isn't come and make loads of money of us, and we're not gatekeeping. We're just trying to learn together and help each other as a community, and that's, and you know, this is why we have our weekly goals meetings, and I think people a place just to be themselves as well. Maybe you know, we've got an epidemic of loneliness, haven't we? Also, where people don't necessarily know how to socialize as well as they used to. Blah blah blah. But you get but you know, I think the more places that we can create for people to learn and grow together with shared interests, but then also then get to hang out together. I think it's great. I you know, more of this stuff is like, So just come and get involved. You know, don't have to say anything. Get involved. Join a weekly meeting. Reach out to people. Ask them how they found X or Y or Z, and more of that really. So that's just something to throw in there as well.
Well, thanks so much, Ali. I know how much it takes to go out of your way and talk about your experience. I know it's really hard always... with my
having a nice chat with my friend Schlop. So it's all good, man.
Yep. I don't know like if there's anything else I could add, but I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You got to move that mattress now, don't you?
I've probably got to. I got to sort my delivery. I hear someone knocking at the door. But great to talk to you, man.
Yeah, great to talk to you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Take care. See
Cheers.
ya. See ya, buddy.
Bye.
Did you like the video? Did you enjoy talking with Alasdair or listening to me ramble on? It was fun. It was a fun conversation, and I really enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, you should like and subscribe and hit that bell icon and all those things. If you stayed to the end, you might as well, right? Because like nobody actually stays for the outro. So yeah, if you're interested in like niche security videos and stuff like that, that's what I kind of hope to hit, like that niche. And yeah, I hope to keep it entertaining and to get new guests and people. And if you're interested in talking to me, then hit me up. If you can find me, of course. Got to do a little OSINT on that. And yeah, so that's all. See you later.